Hey YouTube, welcome to Beyond the Hype, where we look at Pokemon with new moves or buff moves and talk about how strong or weak they are so that you know what you need to invest in and not invest in and not waste dust on if you don't have to. This was supposed to be one on Golisopod because we are going to look at Golisopod here. Golisopod got Fury Cutter, and if you look at the PV Poke moves, Fury Cutter here, as you can see right here, 4 energy per turn, 3 damage per turn, is a Psywave clone. So if you've noticed how strong Psywave is, especially on Pokemon that get the same type attack bonus like Malamar, you will know how strong it is, and that is Golisopod. Golisopod was already sort of borderline medium attack-ish, okay defense, pretty bad stamina, 1800 overall, so sort of like a mid-range stat distribution here. The typing bug water was kind of interesting. Yes, you have 3 weaknesses, an electric, flying, and rock. Wasn't a ton of that, but there was a ton of water, ground, and fighting, and those are 3 to 5 resistances, and then add on steel and ice. So the typings were great, and then you had just moves that you got to pretty quick. You have a 40 energy Aqua Jet for 84 damage, 2.1 damage per energy, and X's are 40 for 78. So you have 2 pretty spammy moves, and you had Shadow Claw, which already did 3 and 4. So now all you're doing is replacing Shadow Claw, a 2-turn move with 4-3, with a 1-turn move in Fury Cutter where you get same type attack bonus, so it does 3.6. So basically a 1-turn move instead of a 2-turn move, more damage per turn because of stab, which means very spammy and harder hitting than in the past. See what I said this morning about Bug being resisted by 7 typings. That is the main drawback, but with Fury Cutter, it is more of an energy per turn type move, so just getting to these moves and spamming them is great. It was a very good Pokemon. It was not the star of the show. The star of the show was Dedenne, and if you have been around on this channel for a while, you know that I clown on this Pokemon. It has been so bad in a meta that was water and like fighting, and it had electric and fairy. It was nowhere to be used because it was just so bad, and I was like, Ryan Swag loved it. I was kind of made fun of him for it because it was so bad. It carried this team. The parabolic charge is a fantastic move now. So parabolic charge, as you can see, so it's a 45 energy move. We'll go to the charges here just so you can see it. So parabolic charge is a 45 energy move. The damage in itself is only sort of mid. It's 45 for 70, so 1.55. So it's on, you got like other 1.55 here is liquidation, magnet bomb. So these are not anything that you should care about. But what you should care about is this 100% chance of buffing your defense. So you get a super fast charging Thundershock, which Thundershock got buffed in previous seasons. So let's just go over the pros and cons. It's basically similar to Golisopod with the 124 attack, this time low defense and okay stamina, so for 1800 overall. But the typing, Fairy, Electric, weak to Poison and Ground. And again, 2 weaknesses in itself, not bad. Poison and Ground, which is just everywhere in the meta. Bad. And then your resistances, you have 6, so you think on the surface like 6 resistances, that's great, but then when you look into it a little more, there was barely any Dragon in the Great League, barely any Electric in the Great League, and before this season barely any Bug, but now there is Bug. You had Dark, Flying, and Fighting, which there was some, but Flying got nerfed previous seasons, so there was a lot less of that too. So a lot of your resistances there wasn't a ton of, well, your weaknesses there was a lot of. So now you have more of Bug, potentially more flyers, although one of the flyers is Gligar, which does not help you a ton. But now you have Parabolic Charge that goes 45 energy, 84 damage, and boosts your defense. And I cannot undersell how amazing it is to boost your attack, boost your defense after only 10 turns. And for those of you who have played GBL for a long time know that there were moves like Ancient Power and some others that gave you the double attack boost or the double defense boost, and everyone knows that like when you got those, it was basically game over. So now you're in this position where you have a super fast move, like a fast energy charging move in Thundershock. You're getting to these parabolic charges in 10. The move itself is 1.87 damage per energy, so 84 damage is not inconsequential. We just looked at that on Aqua Jet and X Scissor. 84 in itself is not inconsequential in the damage, and now you're buffing your defense, and you're going to see in some of these battles here just how kind of wild it can get when you buff your defense 2 to 3 times. I was taking like hard hitting moves that were doing like almost nothing. It really is a crazy, a huge improvement on this Pokemon. So starting with this Diggersby, I do catch on to Dedenne. I never usually recommend doing this because they may have answers. Like if they have a ground, I'm in trouble. It is a steel grass. So grass resists electric, steel resists fairy. I have no moves here. I'm in huge trouble. I have no moves and they've already chipped me. Well, here comes the second parabolic charge. So resisted, but still a decent move. So resisting it, getting down to the yellow. And now I'm double boosted. And Power Whip, we know how strong Power Whip is on Ferrothorn. And still, despite what would normally one-shot a Dedenne, allows me to get to a third move and put this to the deep red. So despite having only resisted moves and taking a move, able to live the one move now because I boosted my defense ×2, allowing me to live that move, get another move off. Not that it matters. I've got a double super effective fire punch here, but you'll see that as kind of a theme for the rest of these matchups, just how much these boosts to your defense actually do here. So now we're at the Mandibuzz match back on the beginning here. I don't really want to try and catch a Golisopod because Aerial Ace is super effective, and they seem to be throwing it a lot here for some reason. So we will just stay in this matchup and throw some fire punches here, and then we'll have to see what is in the back after we probably take each other low. And in the back is a Talonflame, and this is just where the spam of this thing is going to come in. It was a Shuttleclaw clone. This thing already spammed fast at 10. But now if you can just time properly here, you will outpace the Talonflame in the 2s as long as you live their Incinerates. So here comes the second Aqua Tail. One more Incinerate does not take me out. They throw the charge move, and I recognize I will get to a third Aqua Tail here and get to the, Aqua Jet. Aqua Jet. Caught it. 7 minutes in. Doesn't count. Aqua Jet here. And will take it out. So now we get back into this matchup. At least the Aqua Tail and Aqua Jet are like right below each other, one above each other, one below each other in my moves that I have here. So that is not as outrageous as some of the other mistakes that I have made with the moves. Aqua Jet, take him out there. Okay, Gligar coming in with the Fury Cutter. We'll look at Gligar eventually, but I've got to imagine I'm doing Samurai right now, and I know how it plays with the Aerial Ace. I've seen a lot of Night Slashes. I've seen a lot of Night Slash Aerial Aces. I know how it plays with Aerial Ace Dig. Now just a kind of fast charging move to get you there. I think I'll play similar to Wing Attack, but obviously Bug does a little worse. A little worse. So here comes a Dig here. I do live that. Get to the Fire Punch, which means I will get to the third Fire Punch here to take this out or grab a shield before they take me out. So throw the Fire Punch. They actually live with 1 HP, and out comes their Dedenne. So I'm going to stay in this matchup and just play this out, knowing that the Thundershock is resisted. They're probably going to have to dump a move. So I grabs 1 shield. Thundershock, yeah, they're going to have to dump a move. Double resisted, actually, because the ground double resists. There's a Parabolic Charge. That boosts their attack by 1. But they throw right away, which means I know it's not Play Rough. Play Rough takes 14 to get to here. So it's just another resisted move. But now they have boosted their defense ×2. And if they go it again, now it's 3 times boosted defense. And still take me to the yellow. Why they gave up a 3 times boosted defense is beyond me. We'll chalk it up to early season people not super knowing how to play, because they would have very, very easily lived that move there. They get to, it's double electric in the back, so it is a Morpeko, and I've got a 2 shield Fury Cutter, super effective on the dark. This is why people are going to be more scared to run Morpeko this season, because all of these bug type fast moves, and as you're going to see here with the shield advantage, don't even need to throw, just a very, very fast farm down to take out. Fortress, quick attacks resisted, but fire punch would be super effective. And this is where you just start to wall and boost your defense at the same time. So Mandibuzz is going to have nowhere to go here. One does not take out. I can definitely take one. Let's see how much I over farm here. I mean, of course, I can take as many as I want. But do I want to take like a third one after this is the question. I don't think so. So I'll probably throw in like 4 here. Yeah. Throwing at 4. I maybe could have gone a little more, taken another move, but I think just taking this out, boosting my defense for a second time is pretty big. It is a Clodsire, unfortunately. I played this wrong. I don't know why I'm throwing a double resisted move or even a single resisted play rough when I have 2 answers for this. I've got this, which yes, Fury Cutter is resisted, but Aqua Jet is super effective. And then I got a Scorching Sands sitting over there on Diggersby. So don't know why I stayed in. Don't know why I threw the move. Kind of a mistake there. And now we will just play this matchup out, spamming the crap out of this. Again, knowing if they have Rock Tomb, which they should have Rock Tomb. I guess they're just over farming here. It takes 17 to get to. We just went over that this morning, and it only takes 10 to these Aqua Jets, and that's just the pure difference between the hard-hitting Bug Bite versus the fast-charging Fury Cutter here. So, Parabolic Charge takes that out. Out comes Clodsire. It is a 1v1. I'm going to shield up a move, assuming they're not going to bait another poison. And now I'm just going to significantly outpace here with a super effective move versus a neutral move. Means they have really no shot in this matchup. With an attack fall just to rub it in their face a little more, I will take this matchup as well. So I went 9-1 with this team. And Dedenne was huge for it. So out comes a Kingdra. Dragon Breath is resisted. I'm going to throw this. Again, getting to this in 10 is huge. This is neutral here. They're half water, half dragon. They do shield. Octazooka would be neutral. So does chip me. They are a Shadow Kingdra, so even if I lower or buff my defense there, it's still going to chip a bit. I tried to take it out with Play Rough, thinking they wouldn't double shield this. They do double shield it. Okay, that's fine. Dedenne's done its job. I will take that 2 shield advantage, figuring that I could just run with Golisopod, Diggersby 2 shield versus 0 shield. Probably is a pretty good scenario to be in here. So get the Scorching Sands off, super effective. I believe they overheat me if I remember. They do, but it's non-stab and it is a Diggersby. So at this point, their attack is 2 times lowered. And at 2 times lowered, resisted Sludge is not going to do anything to me. So come out with a ton of energy. I throw Blind. It is a Moltres. So, maybe don't throw Blind. But I do chip it and get into the Golisopod. Here comes the Aqua Jet. Will not take out, but will chip. And now in Fury Cutter range. Psywave clone, right? Psywave does good damage, especially on a stab Pokemon while charging fast. The Fury Cutter is a fantastic move. So at the X Scissor, gonna take this out and should just be able to fast move down what's left here on Moltres. So the Fury Cutter, for me, if you watched my video this morning, I would much rather have a Fury Cutter which does good damage and charge really fast so you can get to your charge moves, as opposed to Bug Bite, which does great damage but slower charging, especially in a meta which has a lot of resistances to bugs. So I think Fury Cutter is a great move. Nice catch on the Dragonite. Getting to my Parabolic Charge. Gonna boost that defense again. Gonna do take it out, right? You take it out. Earthquake would... yeah, I'm not even going to let them get out the first move off here. It is Rock Tomb, but I want to boost my defense for a second time here. So boosting that defense for a second time. Yes, they lowered my attack. Still get good chip here. Here comes a boost for a third time. So 3 times boosted defense here. Let's see how much this move does. So I'm just over 50%. Rock Tomb takes me like barely at a third, right? Like the amount of like this thing can get out of hand pretty quickly. And here comes a 4 times boosted. Even I'm pretty sure they take me down, even though they should not have. I remember chipping it there, or do they top left here? Yeah, 4 times boosted. Just cannot. What are you supposed to do in that situation? So I would definitely run Dedenne again. I think it's going to be like a top 20 Pokemon when all is said and done. I think it's going to move up in the rankings. I mentioned this morning I expect Fortress to move down in the rankings. Golisopod, I think Golisopod will move down, but I don't see it moving outside of like the top 10 to 15. I think having a Psywave clone with stab and 2 super spammy moves, you're basically Malamar. Now, I would say that Malamar's typing was more unique and better, and Fury Cutter is resisted by so many things. So that is why I would put Golisopod lower than I would put Malamar last season. So Malamar, Shadow, non-Shadow were around like 5 to 10, which is why I would put Golisopod in like the 15-ish range. So that's where I think that it will end up when the rankings are all said and done. Like I said this morning, Fortress probably down in like the 25-30. I can see Golisopod moving down from, 6? I can see it moving down to, 15-ish. And Dedenne here is, I used Togedemaru after Dedenne, and it's not even close. Stunfisk is ranked 20. Dedenne is ranked 27. Togedemaru is ranked 29. Togedemaru is overranked at 29. I think Stunfisk is overranked at 20. I think Dedenne should probably be at 20, if not in the top 20. It truly is that much better. Now, we'll see. We'll see how many poisons on the ground. The meta is still early. My guess is, and this is just day 1, so these are just my initial thoughts. We'll do a full analysis after a week, and on Monday I'll give you my final thoughts on the meta. But my early thoughts are some of these bug Pokemon will stay around, like Golisopod. I'm playing Samurott right now. I'm not sold on Samurott. Gligar is not a bug, but it has the bug type fast move. So I think Gligar and Golisopod are going to stay around. I think Fortress and Samurott as bug fast move Pokemon, they will be used more sporadically. I think at this point, if I'm using a Hydro Cannon user, I'm going back to Feraligatr over Samurott. That's my just initial play so far. And then, Fortress I already mentioned this morning's video. You can go check that out. So I think those will go down the rankings. So then the question becomes, okay, if there's not a million bug and people kind of recognize how strong Dedenne is, and they recognize, okay, maybe bug's a little over, not as strong as we thought it would be, maybe between Dedenne and the steals, I can expect to see with all the bug more steals coming up, more Corviknights, more Ting-Tongs. I can see maybe the Mud Slap users coming back a little bit, or just ground type Pokemon in general coming back a bit to kind of deal with these Pokemon and not have to worry about the bug as much. So that's my early day 1 read of where the meta is going, but we will see as the week progresses. You'll get a good idea basically if you play every single set every single day, you should get a pretty good idea when you're in around like rank 16 or 17, because that's when the battles start getting a little sweaty. That's when people start trying a little harder, and you will figure out what people think the meta will be, because then they'll start playing sort of meta Pokemon. Like I said, first 5-6 days you are playing just to test these Pokemon, see how they play, see what you like and don't like about them. And then I think after like 5-6 days, you're like, okay, I've tested everything. Time to team build what I think works. So I was gonna say Saturday, but yes, late Saturday, Sunday, you're gonna start seeing people play more try hard teams and figure out what they think the meta is gonna be like. So Diggersby against Azumarill. Instant swap Golisopod to be met with a Typhlosion, and immediately I had a lot of this today, so I ran into the mirror match this morning Fortress team that I put out as the top team yesterday, And this one, Azumarill Typhlosion, I wonder what's in the back. I'm guessing it's going to be a second fire, as my legend team was. And I had a couple people reach out saying they hit legend on the final days with my team, with that fire team, double fire team, which I think will have play in this meta. Unfortunately, not against this team. The Talonflame is in the back here because that was my team. Azumarill Typhlosion. I used Shadow Typhlosion though, so this person not copying exactly as I did. But Talonflame in the back, Dedenne, Azumarill, gonna core break those. Dedenne's gonna core break these two, and they recognize it here too. Game over. Thank you for watching. Thank you for using my team. I do think this team probably has play in the long run in the Great League, just not against this one. Typhlosion, they get out into Ferret. Too slow here. I definitely should go Dedenne. Like, Sucker Punch is dark, so that would have been resisted. So I don't know why I just did not get into that matchup. I eventually get into the matchup, but, you know, if you got into the matchup quick and the Sucker Punch is resisted, and then you start boosting your defense, you could have easily taken this matchup. But now it's going to be a little trickier, especially that they're going to start burning shields. So I'm going to match, knowing that my pacing is still pretty quick. But now they're done, so out comes Typhlosion. Get to the move. This boosts my defense for the second time. And because of that, they cannot incinerate me down and I Thundershock down, right? Like, it's... That incinerate would have definitely taken out if I was not double boosted. I think I should have got a move off there. But that incinerate would have taken me out if I was not double boosted. But yeah, so Dedenne with a couple bulky Pokemon where you can just like 2-shield this thing in neutral situations and just ramp up. Yeah, I think you just need to cover like your Clodsire ground weakness, which I think Diggersby does pretty well. And then Golisopod. So I think the team works. Although there was like, again, you saw me against a Gligar. Gligar's a little tricky, but you can kind of deal with it. So here we go. Here's a spam. X's or Aqua Jet, both same energy. Aqua Jet is better damage per energy. So if you want, but I mean, they're in the red, so it does not matter. But all things equal, throw the Aqua Jet. I have 1 Swift. I farm down and we'll take them out. So yeah, huge improvement for Dedenne. Definitely a top Pokemon. Improvement for Golisopod, just in the fact that it is just pure damage per energy better, and it's a 1-turn move versus a 2-turn move. So 100% both of those are better. Again, I think Golisopod slightly overranked. Dedenne probably slightly underranked for now. We'll see how they adjust moving forward. But that's it. Yeah, so I have a Samurai team. I'm doing really bad with the Samurai team. Again, I have Togedemaru on the team. It's not working. I tried Sableye, and then I switched to Corsola to give me more bulk. And I'm just having a weird time with Samurott. Someone said try the Shadow Samurott, and I did. And it's just kind of a weird one right now. I'm not having great success with it, but maybe if I try again tomorrow, aka today, maybe it'll go better. You'll see that Samurott team, or teams, because it's not working well, but you'll see something tomorrow with Samurott, and then we'll keep going through the list. So that is it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.